Welcome everyone tonight to the city meeting. Would like to remind everybody if you could please turn off your cell phones, silence them, and also remind everybody that these meetings are broadcast every day on Channel 2 at 6 p.m. and midnight, and also available at YouTube. So if we could go ahead and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a silent prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, and indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we're going to start off tonight with a couple of proclamations. Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Anybody? All right. All right. City of Leavenworth, Kansas, like to proclaim that whereas 1 in every 4 women all experience domestic violence during her lifetime, with approximately 15.5 million children exposed to domestic violence every year. And whereas when a family member is abused, it can have long-term damaging effects on the victim that also leaves a mark on family, friends, and the community at large. And whereas domestic violence is widespread and is devastating to society as a whole, I, Griff Martin, Mayor Pro Tem of Leavenworth, Kansas, hereby proclaim that the month of October 2023 is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and urge all the people of Leavenworth, Kansas to work towards elimination of domestic violence. There you are.
I want to accept this on behalf of the Alliance, and I appreciate Leavenworth as a city as a whole embracing us as a whole community and very much helping us serve everyone that we do. I would also like to invite everybody to come meet everyone from the Alliance. We have a chamber after hours with the Leavenworth Chamber, and it is October 18th from 4 to 6. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. All right, Military Retiree Appreciation Day. The City of Leavenworth, Kansas, would like to proclaim that whereas military retirees have served our country faithfully in times of peace and war, and whereas military retirees have made significant sacrifices in defense of our freedom and liberty, and whereas a large number of military retirees and their families live, work, and play in the Leavenworth community, and whereas the Fort Leavenworth Garrison will conduct a Retiree Appreciation Day on October 28, 2023, I, Griff Martin, Mayor Pro Tem of the City of Leavenworth, Kansas, do hereby join the Fort Leavenworth Garrison in recognizing the contributions, sacrifices, and loyalty of the military retirees in our community by proclaiming October 28, 2023 as Military Retiree Appreciation Day.
Honorable Mayor, City Commissioners, thank you very much. I accept this honor on behalf of the over 25,000 military retirees that are in what they call the greater Fort Leavenworth catchment area. There's quite a few of us here. It's a good place to retire. I recognize fellow retirees sitting around the room tonight. I see many up on the fort, and it's just a great place to live. You all do a good job of taking care of us. On the 28th, we will have Retiree Appreciation Day, and it's in the Lewis and Clark building, so if you get the chance, anybody can stop up and visit it, although it's intended mainly for the military retiree. They give them flu shots and things like that. But again, thank you for this honor.
All right, thank you. All right, old business, consideration of previous meeting minutes. Anybody has any comments?
I move to accept the minutes of the September 26, 2023 regular meeting.
Second.
Motion's been seconded, beginning voting with Commissioner Leonhard.
Aye.
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 Motion passed 4-0. Second consideration ordinance, consideration of ordinance number 8226, approval of special use permit for 722 South Fifth Street Restaurant in OBD zoning district.
Mr. Mayor and Commission, there have been no changes since the reading on September 26th. This is just a rezoning for a restaurant to be placed at 722 South 5th Street.
Okay, any
Special
other,
use permit.
Special use permit, yes, sir.
any other comments?
No?
No.
That'll entertain a motion.
I think it's roll call.
Oh, yes, it is a roll call vote.
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, good deal. New business public comment. Sarah, we have some,
We do.
Thanks, Sarah.
First up, we have Mary Ann Nealand.
Hi, I'm Mary Ann Newland. I live at 113 Peak Avenue here in Leavenworth. And back in 2007, 2008, I started a skate club at David Brewer for the skaters there because we didn't have a park and they didn't have anywhere to go. And what was happening was they were skating downtown and none of us knew that we weren't allowed to and there was a no skate zone until skateboards started getting taken away by police officers. That's when we learned that there was a no skate zone. So we had a policeman come and speak with them and show them the zone. I believe it was Mike Adams, he was very nice, and then they understood. But we also started working towards getting a skate park built, and we started working with Julie at Parks and Rec, who has since retired. But we took the boys, I'm saying boys just because they literally were all boys at the time. We took them all around to a bunch of skate parks around in the area. We went to Atchison, we went to Water Springs, we went to Kansas City, and the kids got to get together and decide what they wanted in the skate park and what was feasible. And then we came up with Haunted Havens to raise half the money because that's what they told us at Parks and Rec. If we raise half the money, we will match it. And we got the skate park and we are eternally grateful. But there was always a hope that it would get expanded, and that was 2009. And it's not expanded yet, so we are here to ask for expansion, maybe a bowl, and definitely some seating and some lighting. The kids do still use the park and they use it a lot, and they use it year-round. There's also bicyclists that use it, and there are also roller skaters and rollerbladers that use the park. It's not even just the skateboarders.
thank you.
Thank you.
Is there a comment?
We now have Billy Nealand.
So on behalf of everybody, so we don't waste too much of your time, we also wanted to talk about expanding the skate park because it's older than some of these kids here today. And we really need it repainted because it's super slippery and sometimes the sun is beaming right at you. And we would love to have some lights, especially during like daylight savings time when it gets dark really early. It'd be great to have some seating because recently there were some benches there for about a week or two and we really missed those. And so we're just asking for some expansion, some lighting, and maybe even some seats for our skate park. And we want to shout out to Mayor Jermaine for helping us out along the way. He's a great guy.
Will do.
Thank you.
All right, thank you guys, appreciate it.
Thank you guys for coming.
Anybody else, Sarah?
Nope, that's
Is
all.
that it? Okay. General items, update on unsafe and dangerous fire damage structure 805 North 18th Street.
Mr. Mayor, Pro Tem and Commission, this will be Hal Burdette, the Chief Building Inspector, to give an update on this item tonight.
Good evening. As the report says, this 805 North 18th was damaged by a fire in January of this year. At a public hearing in July, the City Commission gave a 90 days to do repairs. We are at that 90-day point. The progress has been made. The interior has been gutted, ready for new electrical. I believe plumbing and heating will probably not require any work. On the exterior, they have completed the roof repairs. They're still missing a window. The contractor told me that was probably another week or two before they received that window. and then they can continue with the exterior repairs as well. When I spoke with him, he said he thought that they would be done by December, which is about 90 days. I told him we may consider 60 days is what I would recommend to the commission, because, you know, they should be at the point long before December to release the funds so that they can use that money to finish up the project. I am not sure if the contractor is here or anyone else is here tonight.
Okay, and I guess to that point, is anybody here to speak to this property?
60 days is December.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
good call. Sorry about that.
It's all right.
Appreciate that, Mr. Burdette. Any comments from anybody?
No, it looks like, they're on their way, so I'm happy to extend the
Hey,
time.
Commissioner Leonhardt, I had a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So if we gave, of course, we give 60 days, if we do that, it looks like most of it is interior work that needs to be done, is that correct? So even if it was bad weather, they could still complete it in that timely manner?
I would say yes. There's some painting and a few things that need to be done outside, but the majority of the work left, yes, is interior work.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner Leonard. Yeah, I'm good with the 60 days too, if we could just peg it to bring it up again at that time.
We'll bring it back
Yeah.
to you sooner if they're ready before then.
Sure.
Okay, cool. Any other comments?
Okay,
Commissioner Hengel?
No, I move that we give a 60-day extension to this work.
Second.
All right. Motion's been seconded. Begin voting with Commissioner Bowder.
Aye.
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 Motion passed 4-0. All right, moving on to bids, contracts, and agreements. Number 5, consider approval of design-build contract for Parks and Rec office construction.
This would be Steve Grant, the Director of Parks and Recreation.
Thank you, Paul. Mayor Pro Tem, Commissioners, good evening. Good to be here with you this evening. This issue is to consider the approval of design-build agreement with Sands Construction LLC for the design and construction of new Park and Recreation administrative offices to be located at the Riverfront Community Center. The 2023 CIP program, construction of new administrative offices for Parks and Recreation. These offices will occupy what is currently referred to as the south wing portion of the community center, with access directly to the office area from Esplanade Street. It'll give the Parks and Recreation Department a better opportunity to professionally serve the citizens of Leavenworth. We'll have a storefront with signage directly into the Parks and Recreation office, where they'll be able to come directly to our area from off of Esplanade. The city solicited qualifications from design build teams for this project. The design build is where both the designer and construction contractor are part of a team that work together for a cost-effective design and construction project. This is the same process that you recently saw with the design build for the with the fire and public works, with the fire station and the WPC administrative offices. The city, we solicited qualifications from the design build firm. We received 2 proposals, which were reviewed by Administrative Review Committee. That review committee consisted of myself, Chief Inspector Hal Burdette, Parks and Recreation Director, Deputy Director Brian Bailey, Community Center Maintenance Supervisor Chuck Phillips, as well as Community Center Manager Tammy Metzgar. Staff came to a consensus to negotiate with the design build team led by Sands Construction Company. Sands Construction will work in conjunction with their architecture firm subcontractor Design Lab LLC on the formulation and completion of this project. This design build agreement was also reviewed by our city attorney, Mr. David Waters, as well. So tonight, this is really the beginning of the process for this design build. We're bringing forth to you the agreement so that we may enter into the design build portion of the Parks and Rec offices. As I mentioned, the 2023 CIP includes $385,000 for the construction of this project. Also, utilization of ARPA funds have been approved for using in this project. However, tonight we're just approving the ability to enter into this contract with Sands Construction. The final total project, which is Exhibit A in your packet, the final amendment, will come back to the city commission with the total project cost, including the design portion of it.
Okay.
So that's, so tonight, what staff is recommending is the commission approve the agreement between the city and Sands Construction and authorize the mayor to sign the agreement as well as Exhibit B, which is also in the packet, and that's just the insurance and bond requirements for Sands Construction. So with that, I'll open up to any questions.
All right, thank you.
Just a couple notes. We try not to expand administrative offices or anything like that very regularly with these projects. If anybody's been to the community center, you know where the Parks and Recreation office is. It's in the basement. It's through a single door. There is no office space. There's no conference space. There's no meeting space. There's nowhere to meet an architect or an engineer or a vendor or the public or hold a meeting with an upset parent or anything like that. There's just no allocation for that for all. So that's why when we presented with the ARPA funds, it was such a priority. It's really more about giving a public face to the Parks and Recreation office. On Sands Construction, the other thing is too, you may be familiar, they did the county's rehab of the Cushing Hospital and the Council on Aging. And so we're very familiar with that project and the work they did there. So they're very familiar. They're a local company and they do this type of work and they do it well. So just a little more context.
Thank you, thank you.
And right now, all we're discussing is the contract itself. There is no money.
Absolutely no price at this point. Yeah, and we have a cap on that, so we'll bring it back for the final amount.
Okay.
Do we know when the design will begin, when the actual designing will begin?
Pending your approval this evening, then they'll start doing design work towards it, leading up towards a total cost of the project, including their design work, which will then come back for your all approval.
Okay. And do we have some idea of when they expect to have the whole project done, like next spring, next fall, something like that?
I'm assuming to be completed by spring. The target is to get going on the design now this fall into winter. And then it is a good indoor winter project. All of the work will be in the interior portion of the community center. So they'll be able to work all winter, hopefully to have it done, I would hope by late winter, kind of depending on all their other projects and their schedule.
Okay, I was reading through it. The city's going to give criteria to the designers as to what you want to have happen in there. Has that already happened?
So we had a preliminary meeting with them, talking about just very basic, the number of offices, which obviously is dictated by our staff. How it would be laid out with the current walls that are there, the current kitchen, the current restroom facilities, what would change, how we would welcome the public in there with our administrative assistant office and possibly a seat. Very basic things, Commissioner. But and then we talked about there's a lot of goes into moving HVAC, fire suppression systems, and of course all that goes into new technology and wiring and everything as they construct new walls as they're constructing the offices.
And what do you plan to do with the space that you're in now?
So
once you vacate it.
So we never have enough space.
That's true.
But
That's right.
the main thing, it will become
storage.
it'll become our maintenance offices. Right now, our maintenance supervisor, Chuck Phillips, his office is in the South Wing area. Out of his office, his one full-timer works, and his two temporary regulars all work in there, as well as all of the call-ins. So they all work out of the one office. So if they bring their lunch, they bring their coat, they bring their purse, whatever, it all goes in Chuck's office. So we're going to use at least a couple of those offices in that capacity. And then if we have a little bit extra room, maybe some storage. Yep.
Thank you.
Sure.
Cool deal. Commissioner Leonhard, any thoughts or questions?
No, I think it's just really exciting for the employees to have this. This has been overdue. It's been much needed. And then it'll be nicer to welcome the public in. If they want to talk to someone, it's just going to be a nicer place overall. So I'm excited for it.
Cool deal.
Did you say there's going to be some conference room space?
So we will. We'll have a conference room, as well as the community center manager, which is, as you know, is currently Tammy Mesker. She will have a bigger office where she that position has its own conference table as well. Because they meet multiple times a day with people looking to rent rooms, for wedding receptions and such. So that office will have the ability to meet separately in a small setting with maybe just a bride and their parents or whatever. And then we will have a conference room very similar to the finance conference room upstairs, about that similar size if you've been in there. Seat about 10 or 11 people.
Yeah, you should go down and see where Tammy works.
Oh, no, I've been there
It's
before.
pretty small.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty small,
It
and
is.
a lot of times she meets with people in one of the waiting rooms if they're available, but
Yeah, it'll really help. Yeah, the community center sells itself, and then Tammy does a great job on top of that selling it. But then when you're able to sit up in those offices and you've got a view of the river, which is the same view you have in the Riverview room,
Right.
it'll really help. It'll help sell that facility as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, with that, I'll go ahead and entertain a motion.
I move we, sorry. I move that we approve the agreement between the city and Sands Construction LLC and authorize the mayor to sign the agreement, as well as Exhibit B, insurance and bonds.
Second.
All right, the motion's been seconded. We'll begin voting with Commissioner Leonhardt.
Aye.
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 Motion passed 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Grant. Okay, item 6, consider approval to purchase bomb robot for the police department.
Will you please Chief Pat Kitchens for this item?
Hey, Chief.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem and Commission, the police department is before the governing body this evening asking for pre-approval to move forward with the purchase and replacement of our bomb robot. The Leavenworth Police Department operates a 3-person bomb unit that has a variety of pieces of equipment to help us mitigate any type of hazardous devices. One of those pieces of equipment is a bomb robot that is currently 21 years old, and it's reached the end of its useful life cycle, and it's ready to be replaced. The dilemma that we face is that the construction of a new bomb robot takes between 32 and 36 weeks. So what I'm asking for is pre-approval to move forward with the issuing of a purchase order in 2023 with the full commitment that we will not spend any allocate money until 2024. In the 2024 capital improvement program budget, the City Commission allocated $230,000 for the bomb replacement. And so what we're trying to do is just get ahead of the curve and get started on the project. And the company, the vendor, would need our commitment to do that so we can move forward and they can get started. And when it's done, if you were to approve it tonight, sometime around the middle of May of 2024, it would be completed, and then we would allocate and pay for that. As I indicated in the budget hearings and remind you tonight, we expect some federal assistance and cost offset in the amount of $105,000. We are supported by the FBI pretty heavily in terms of training funds and allocation equipment and that sort of thing. And so they've given us that indication they intend to allocate to the city of Leavenworth $105,000 at some point next year in the 2024 budget as well. And so that's what we're asking for, is for you to pre-approve and for us to be allowed to move forward now in 2023. Get that process started so we could complete it in the middle of 2024. And I'll answer whatever questions you might have.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate that. Any questions at all?
What are you going to name it?
Well, sir, if I'm in charge of that, it'd be something like C3PO or R2D2, but I'll probably get outvoted for that. We were thinking about maybe having some kids at one of the local schools have a robot naming contest or something like that. Oh, yes, sir.
Name it after my name.
Okay, what's your name?
Casey.
That's terrible. We can't. So we'll figure out something on the robot. We named it, the first one we had was named Jimmy, and it was named after the original founding member of the bomb robot, Lieutenant Jim Dyson, way back in the early 90s when we first started. And so we did that in his honor right after he retired. But we'll figure out some way to name it something clever.
That was a good idea. What are you going to do when you're with Jimmy when he's retired?
That thing will probably be in a museum or something like that. We haven't quite got that far. I don't think we could sell that on eBay or anything or Craigslist, but we'll figure out something we'll do with that. It's just old and out of date pretty quickly, so.
So thank you, Chief. I have just a quick question, Mr. Kramer, on our PO language, when we have an open PO like that, what kind of exit language do we have in those accepted purchase orders to get out in case there's like any delay, since it is kind of a
Yeah, we still have to absolutely accept the project. So that's just the budget authorization that they need, that the governing body has authorized the commission to approve it, or staff, once we accept the project. Same as a project, Steve Grant and I just met on the cooling centers today, we still haven't accepted that project, so we still have a payment outstanding. So the PO is the authorization, that's what they need to start the construction, but we absolutely have to accept the project at the end.
No, that's cool. I didn't know on our POs, like if there's anything that if they don't deliver by such and such date, where then it PO's null and void, stuff like that. I
So
didn't
we
know.
don't normally put a time necessarily on construction projects we do. There's so many calendar days, and then there's liquidated damages, or there's some sort of clawback. When we do equipment like this, it's usually we don't normally have a time limit by which it has to be delivered.
Okay, no, I'm just curious.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
okay. Cool. Thank you, Commissioner Bowder.
No, I don't think so, because we're not paying for it ahead. I mean,
No,
paying for it when it comes.
just issuing the PO.
Yeah. Okay.
Commissioner Leonard?
No comment.
Okay. Well, with that, just need a motion.
I move we pre-approve the purchase of a new bomb robot from iCore Technologies in 2024 in the amount of $223,009.60.
Second.
Motion's been seconded. We'll begin voting with Commissioner Bowder.
Aye.
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 All right, motion passed 4-0. Thank you, Chief.
Sir.
All right, staff report, Convention and Visitors Bureau semi-annual report.
Yeah, this will be Christy Lee, the CVB manager, to give you her report.
Good evening, Mayor
Good evening.
Pro Tem, Commissioners, good to be here. I did not load it on the computer, but I can, but I think everybody, do you have a copy in front of you? We could just kind of go over the paperwork there, the
That's fine.
presentation. Good. Discussion points tonight, I'll again kind of go over the national tourism industry, the state of the Kansas industry, and then highlight some of the Leavenworth tourism industry stats for you tonight. So nationally, travel accounted for $1.2 trillion in direct spending in 2022 and supported nearly 15 million American workers. And travel spending generated $160 billion in total tax revenue, including $84 billion in state and local tax revenue in 2022. It is on the rise again. Inbound international travel is helping with those statistics again, so that's always good to see. Up and coming right now is the artificial intelligence that's all around us, and everybody's finding out about it and that. So same in the tourism industry. It's been making significant strides, providing more seamless experience for travelers. AI is being used to drive quicker customer service, personalized recommendations, flight forecasting, and others. So I think it's going to continue to be used more and more in the future, and that especially in the travel industry. The forecast looking into the future is still pretty bullish. 66% of travelers are still planning to visit friends and family this fall. 53% are planning to do a fall road trip, and then on into the holidays when travel always increases anyway, especially over the Thanksgiving. I think it's one of the largest traveling weekends in the year. And then even in that, they're saying like the 17% have used that chat GPT AI to assist with their travel plans, even on that end. So it's out there, and it's going to be used a whole lot more in the future. So some of the stats from the Kansas State Tourism. Over on the side, I know we always talk about the economic impact of tourism and that, and this kind of just gives you a visual. The direct tourism impact is your visitor purchases, your lodging, your food, and your entertainment. Your indirect economic impact is your supply chain, your taxes, and your wages paid. And your induced is your tourism employees, your supply chain employees, housing, local taxes, and then local purchases. Just to kind of show you that multiplier when tourism dollar is spent in the community. Along the right-hand side, this is some of the tourism statistics from their year-end report. over 33.7 million visitors to the state of Kansas, 11.2 billion total economic impact, 7 billion direct visitor spending, along with all the other statistics you can kind of see right below there. I can read them all, or I'm sure you can read them at your leisure in that. Some other Kansas tourism accomplishments. In 2022 was their first out-of-state campaign that they've done in years. So everyone in the tourism industry was really excited with that. They're starting to do more television ads and that on cable channels and that. And they are reporting that generating over 244 million impressions, increasing the travelks.com traffic by 48%. So that's a pretty good increase, and I hope they continue doing their out-of-state campaigns. The Kansas Day is always in January, 29th and that, so the state has really the last few years kind of put a coordinated effort in doing a campaign on Kansas Day, and so far it's been paying off really well. Across their social media, they've increased views by 62% year over year, so it's been a hit for them, and I can see them continuing to do something with that every year. They have awarded over 2.3 million in grants to 34 communities across the state. They're marking grants over $87,000 to 15 different communities. Their attraction development grants, $251,000 to 11 projects. And then their tourism attraction sub-grants, $1.96 million to 8 different projects in Kansas. If you want a list of which projects they funded, just let me know, and I can send you a list of which ones across the state won those awards. Also down at the bottom, there's over 440 registered agritourism businesses in the state, and there are actually 23 agritourism businesses located right here in Leavenworth County. Last weekend, they did have the Caw farm tour, and I believe almost 21 of those businesses participated in the Caw farm tour. So, they've distributed over 350,000 travel guides year to year, and that is where we do place an ad in every year in that. So it's just a great magazine. We also are placing ads in the Kansas magazine almost every issue, which they have 5 issues a year. Some of their billboards that they've placed over the last couple years there. And now we're getting into the state of Kansas, their hotel report. Their occupancy rate is, for August, is 60.4%. Average daily rate for August was $101.93, and their RevPAR, which is revenue per available room, is at $61.60 for August. And moving right into the Leavenworth stats, this is from 50 miles out, and it's from January through end of July. And that, so as you can see, about 38.2% of the people arriving here in Leavenworth stay at least a day. 12% of those people stay 2 days, and 3 days, 10% of the people. So we are getting a lot of people coming here. I think on the next page it does unique visitors so far this year are 102,099 visitors, and they have spent over 790 days in the city. So some of our top cities that are visiting us is Manhattan, Wichita, Topeka, St. Louis, Paola, Harrisonville, Missouri, Chicago, Omaha, Warrensburg, Missouri, Springfield, Missouri, and Ottawa, Kansas. Along the bottom are the top demographics in age, income, household, education, and ethnic. So you can kind of see where those levels are landing. Again, just a little bit more on the average length of stay then from our visitors, 50 miles and out, 50 miles plus out are 3.1 days. Total trips so far out of the 162,000 unique visitors, total trips are 250,046. And our biggest in-state travel is sitting right at about 21.1%. Visitors from Missouri are 19%. And Texas is coming in third with 8.6%. So again, some of the top points of interest in Leavenworth that people are coming to see, obviously Leavenworth, that's the top one. But then from there, the downtown area ranks second, the University of St. Mary, Fairfield Inn and Suites, Home 2 Suites, the Leavenworth National Cemetery, and the Chapel of Veterans. And again, as a whole, that equals the VA out there. So we are getting a lot of visitors coming into the VA. The Holiday Inn Express, Leavenworth Landing, the Hampton Inn, and then Great Life Golf and Fitness.
Chrissy, I'm sorry, I'm just curious, where is that data coming from? I'm just curious, what are those data points where they, are putting a stat on it like that? Do you know?
Okay, so we're using a system that's called Datify.
Uh-huh.
And it's a macro accruer. It doesn't do micro, so we've learned that a little bit. But basically what I do is I put in, it's 50 miles plus, it goes out to 4,000, so anywhere between 50 and 4,000 miles. And then you put in your dates, and then the information comes in. You put in your top cluster points that you want, and then you put in the bottom, and basically the cluster points I used for this report were just Leavenworth and Fort Leavenworth. Leavenworth and Fort Leavenworth. So it brought in the information for the Leavenworth and Fort Leavenworth.
No, and
then it breaks it down from there.
And I'm sorry, I didn't know, is it credit card transactions that are like, how is it tracking this?
No, it's not necessarily credit card transactions. This program is based off of apps. So everybody has a phone, or most everybody has a phone. And so if you have an app that's open, that is part of their curriculum or whatever that they use, they have a bunch of different apps. So, I mean,
they're connected to somebody that's got,
basically, if you have an app open on your phone and it pings when you're in a city, that's how they can, and then they have all the formulas behind the scenes to add or subtract. They supposedly guarantee these stats up to 90% accuracy.
That makes sense. No, I was just curious. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I'm like, where are they getting this information at?
Off the phone for the most part, and the different,
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
You bet. Nope. And Leavenworth stats, this is from the Smith Travel Research, and it's January 1st through September 30th. Occupancy rates for the Leavenworth is at 68%, so we are a whole, 10.3% above the state levels, which is great. Well, anyway, and then RevPAR, revenue per available room, is $79.17 per here, and average daily rate is $116.43. So our transient guest tax funds now are January through September are $527,476.92. So a few of the website statistics on the bottoms, 72 unique users and the 143,000 page views. Top page visited have, our calendar of events has moved up to the front. Before we were kind of just seeing homepage and USP and USDB, but calendar of events is our #1 page visited right now, so that's really good. Page 10 kind of is a graph that our finance department came up with that I thought I'd share it with you. Basically, it's kind of does show a little bit that it is leveling off the last 2 years. 22, we were up 3.5%, and year to date this year, we're up 1.2%. So we are leveling out a little bit, but we're still above last year's numbers at this point. So. Some other Leavenworth updates. We did hire Catherine Christie Cohn on May 18th as the tourism part-time clerk, and she was with Home Depot for over 10 years. So she's been a really good fit for our office and has been a great help for us. We're also, and you've heard this before and have actually helped with some of these. We were just, we were proud to have helped with itineraries and assisting our sister cities this year, both Wagga Wagga, Australia, and Omihachiman, Japan, when they visited. So that was kind of our highlights from this year, and it was a really nice time with both of them. Other Leavenworth stats, we do our visitor guidebooks. We've already distributed over 12,000 this year. And basically, hotels, trade shows, local businesses, tourist information centers across the state, direct request, welcome bags, and then actual ones that we've mailed out to the other visitor centers in the state. Print advertising, placed over 24 print ads. Online, we're on at least 8 different banner ads. We have a search engine marketing campaign going. We do have an e-newsletter calendar that is emailed out to over 1,200 subscribers. And then our new stakeholders newsletter is mailed out to over 102 subscribers. And then along with all of our social media that we are keeping up with, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, we do have a 7.5% increase of our followers over last year at the same time. So that's always good that we're moving up a little bit. Bi-monthly on Facebook, we are our events, our e-newsletter calendar that we send out to over 1,200 subscribers. We do that twice a month, and we've been boosting that on Facebook and that pretty regularly. So seeing that it gets reached, hopefully it's, and the parameters that we're putting in there is we're trying to get it out to people who are 30 miles and more out. So we're reaching, just in the last one that we sent out, over 6,300 people, and we had 461 click-throughs to our website. So hopefully we're drawing some more people into some of our events.
Yeah, your 7.5 increase stat for Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest, and Instagram, I think that's a pretty good number right there.
I was happy with it, yeah. Yes, I was happy with that. We're also doing a holiday billboard campaign this fall, or this Christmas season, so be on the lookout for those. One's going to be down on I-70 right in the Legends area, and then the other one's on Highway 7 out by, just up from the golf course a ways. So, and we're currently working, I don't know if we're going to get it done, we're hoping to, but we're working with Main Street on another possible commercial. And that we did do one earlier in the summer with the summer zip trips. We did a commercial we partnered with Main Street and put together a commercial that lasted the whole zip trip period from like June through August. So we don't have the complete numbers back from Fox 4 yet, but hopefully they'll send us a report on what all that impressions and that brought in. And hopefully I can include that in the year-end report. We hosted over 6 travel writers so far this year. I've listed their names there, so if you get a chance, you can kind of look them up or that. But I feel like we got a lot of impressions back from them, a lot of good stories, a lot of good press and that. So continuing to share those stories when they pop up here and there. So and then also working with the Kansas City Regional Destination Alliance. They also hired a media influencer over the summer. And she visited each one of the communities within the KCRDA, and when she came here, she went to, I didn't write that down. Anyway, sorry about that. I'm trying to remember which attraction she went to, and I can't right now. But anyway, her overall media package or her blogging that she did had over 110,000 views through her Instagram account. So anyway, some of we did our transient guest tracks, our tourism grants in August of this year. Leavenworth County Historical Society and their Vintage Homes Tour and Women in History events was approved. The Leavenworth Charm Hunt and then the Kansas Miss Volunteer Pageant was approved for grants. Some of our upcoming group tours are listed there. We're most excited about the Mayflower tours that's coming in 2024. They're coming 6 different times with 6 different buses. They're going to be staying for 2 nights each time as they're going on their way, and so it should amount to over 250 room nights.
Yay.
From just the one
That's
tour.
good.
So we're very excited about that bit of business. And I just listed the trade shows and conferences that I've attended, and then some of our upcoming calendar events and events that we have coming on. And with that, open it for questions and that, if anyone has any questions or that for me in my office.
It's great to see the increases, and it's amazing the money that we get in our community to help us,
Yeah.
with regard to tourism.
I think it's been doing really well.
Yeah, I think definitely getting on everybody's radar more and more and creating a little bit more buzz. You never know what's going to sit in somebody's mind, especially while they're driving down the road.
Right.
So,
Well, if you look
Kinda
at
keep
10
building
years
on that.
ago, we didn't even have, we've got 4 or 5 hotels here downtown and others throughout the area that bring in a lot of people, and so that helps a lot. And with transient guest tax, that helps your program, which helps us all. So we appreciate everything that you do.
yeah, thank you. Any other questions, Commissioner Hingler or Commissioner Leonhardt?
All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, with that, we'll move to the consent agenda. Commissioner Leonhardt?
Okay. I move to approve claims for September 23rd, 2023 through October 6th, 2023 in the amount of $1,524,022.47. Net amount for payroll number 20, effective October 6th, 2023 in the amount of $371,068.30. No police and fire pension.
Second.
All right, motion's been seconded. We'll begin voting with Commissioner Bowder.
Aye.
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 All right, motion passed 4-0. That concludes our items at the moment. Want to go to Mr. Kramer? Do you have any?
Yeah, just a few things for the good of the group. Just a heads up, at the October 24th meeting, we will have a 4th Street project presentation. We are getting really close to that. I won't steal too much of the thunder. The bid's open for that November 15th. Construction starts February 19th, constructed in 3 phases. They'll start with sanitary and storm sewer with the project, and that will have a time limit on that project to be open fully by traffic by next October. So looking at a February through October. We'll, of course, do a lot of public outreach and communication to the commission and the public about how that's phased, the closures, and how that process is. But you'll get a detailed briefing on that at the October 24th meeting. We have announced the Cody Park open house meetings for the sports court project, and that's October 26th. We're doing a daytime one from 11 to 1 if anybody wants to come, and then that evening from 5 to 7 at the Riverfront Community Center. We'll have some conceptual designs out there, but we're looking for public feedback. What do you want to see? What do you want that to look like? And I know there's some interested people already because I've already heard. So we hope that everybody comes out and helps shape. I mean, it's for you. It's for the residents. It's for more outdoor recreation. So we hope everybody gives a chance to give their input. And then finally, October 21st, which is a week from Saturday at 5 p.m. is the trunk or treat. I believe we are sold out of vendor spots. So it's always an enormous event. So we hope for good weather that night. I know there's some city offices really get into the spirit, should be out there that night as well. So those are the items that I had tonight. Thank you.
All right, thank you. That will go around the table. Commissioner Leonhardt?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay. No, I just really want to thank everyone that was able to come out this past Saturday to the St. Joseph Church German Fest. It was really a lot of great food and fellowship. I know there was a lot going on, and what's really great is in the city of Leavenworth and even surrounding cities, especially this time of year, every weekend is fun-filled with all kinds of events, so you can't make them all. And the only other thing is just have a great rest of the week to everyone. Be safe. Thanks.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Commissioner Hingler?
Yeah, I got a ditto Commissioner Leonhardt. There are all kinds of things going on here in the city of Leavenworth and even further out a little bit, but there's a lot going on. This past Saturday, I was able to go to the Oktoberfest that was put on by Wilcott Brewing. We closed down 6th Street, but they made really good use of it. And there was a lot of fun being had by everybody from little tiny ones to our seasoned citizens, which I am one. But there was a lot of fun there. And then I was able to get over to the German Fest. And, yeah, the sauerbraten was good. Mhm. Everybody have a great rest of the week. Please be safe.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Better?
I got a really nice letter on a rider, from a writer who was, who rode our bus to go pick up his new truck. And I just, it's good to hear positive things. He used the app and said it was easy to use, and they came quickly, and they got him, took care of him, and other people were riding too, and they got them to where they needed, and I've heard really good things. So I'm shout out to the guidance center, and the drivers are great. The staff over there is great, and we really appreciate them. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. I just want to say, kind of on a somber note here, our hearts and our prayers definitely go out to the nation of Israel over the weekend, the terrible attacks that happened, and for the families and individuals that lost their lives. There's a lot of sorrow over there right now, and definitely I want to lift you all up in prayer, and as we go forward, and for the Lord's protection on you all. So with that, I'll enter motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.